So, welcome to this live, everyone. I'm just gonna close my computer here for a second. So just because I don't fully trust these earbuds, the Bluetooth ones, at any time that they cut or you don't hear me, please let me know. So we are playing with creative sequencing today, and I have so what I did last time was I took all the poses from the manual. I'm talking about the 200-hour yoga teacher training manual. I took all the poses, wrote them on pieces of paper. I'm going to show you. So wrote them on little pieces of paper like this. And then I put all 55 poses in an envelope. So what I like to do today is do another sequence. So last time I took 5 poses out of this little envelope, and then I created a yoga class with those 5 different poses in that same order. So when it comes to teaching yoga, and especially in our course, we love to tell people and tell new students or new teachers that we should group the poses. So we should group standing poses, we should group sitting poses, we should group lying down poses. So it is not always up and down and is not always misleading to the students because sometimes when we lie down, they think that we're going to go in Shavasana. Um, so little things like that happen through the class. So usually lying down poses happen maybe toward the beginning of the class or toward the end of the class. But here, what I like to do is to take 5 poses. Some of them are going to be standing, some of them are going to be seated, some of them are going to be lying down. And I'm going to hopefully come up with a way to come up with a way to organize them in a sequence that is safe and that is still fun. I like to do this mostly because it's fun. And also, it keeps it a little bit different. And I would say that for a new teacher, this might be more challenging. Obviously, stay within your comfort zone in terms of, okay, when I teach my first classes, I'm still going to organize my standing poses together, my sitting poses together, my lying down poses together. But if you have a little bit more experience teaching, this might be a fun way that you can incorporate in creating your classes. So I have an envelope here with 55 poses from the 200-hour manual, and I'm just gonna shake them a little bit. There they are. And I'm gonna get five, I'm gonna take 5 little pieces of paper, which means 5 poses. I'm gonna keep them in that order, and then we're gonna figure out how to sequence that in a safe way. Okay, so I'm not looking. Okay, so we got, let's see, we got the first one. This is like bingo. So the first one is reclining hand to big toe pose. Reclining hand to big toe pose. I actually think I already got this one maybe before. So that's number one. And number two. So reclining hand to big toe pose is the one when you lie down, you hold onto the toe, and then you bring the toe out to the side while you are lying down. Second one is two knee twist. Two knee twist. I mean, there might be a little bit of background light going through the paper. Third, okay, so not too bad. We have two reclining poses. Two knee twist pose. The next one is cow face. Oh, that's interesting. Cow face. Um, cow face is the one where both knees are stacked and then holding onto hands. Okay, so we got the third one here. Let's see which one. Let's pick this one. Standing forward fold. Yeah, standing forward fold pose. And one last pose. Pyramid pose. Pyramid pose. Pyramid pose. Okay. So we have reclining hand to big toe pose, two knee twist, cow face, standing forward fold, and pyramid pose. Now, what I like to do with these poses is I'm gonna sequence them. I'm gonna sequence them for both Hatha and Vinyasa. Now, just because the first two, reclining hand to big toe pose and two knee twists, are reclining poses, so they're pretty straightforward. One goes after the other. Then the next one is a sitting pose, cow face pose, and the next two are standing poses. So this is like already a great sequence. But so for a Hatha class, this is a great sequence. For a Vinyasa, so this is the fun part. So when it comes to Vinyasa classes, what I like to do is to create a Vinyasa with these five poses. So we might know that a Vinyasa is standing Tadasana, forward fold, inhale halfway up, exhale forward fold, step back to plank, lower chaturanga, inhale cobra or upward facing dog, and then down into downward facing dog, and then coming back to forward fold and then standing. So that is kind of like the traditional vinyasa. Um, adding those poses with breath. So what I like to do, and this is the fun part, um, is to put these five poses in a vinyasa like that. So I'm going to take my five poses and I'm just going to put them on the side so I can refer to them if I forget which one goes after the next, but I think it's pretty straightforward. So the first pose, um, so let's just do the hatha portion first, in which we're going to put together these poses, and I'm actually going to turn away from you. So I think it's easier for you to see me lying down here. Um, so now when it comes down to hatha classes, so I'm just going to imagine that this is maybe somewhere between um, your class. So it's not the beginning, it's not the end, it's just a chunk of time in your yoga class. So we got hand to big toe pose, holding onto your big toe. I'm gonna keep my knee bent for now. Actually, I'm gonna keep both of my knees bent for now. And I'm gonna turn the camera a little bit this way. I'm gonna keep both of my knees down for now because I haven't stretched properly yet. So both knees are bent, and then the knee opens. If you were to start this pose, it's really good to stretch your hamstrings first. So you can do little stretch for the hamstrings, and eventually you can do the full expression of the pose, which is with the legs straight. So now keeping both knees bent for now, and then from here, we can pretty easily go into two knee twist, whether you choose to do one side, and then you can choose to do the other side, two knee twist. One great transition that I like from lying down to seated is to roll up like we do in Pilates. So taking the head up, chest up, and then slowly rolling up. There's many versions or variations that you can do this rolling up to seated. Moving into cow face pose. One knee stacked over the other. With cow face pose, traditionally, you can bring the opposite arm up, opposite arm down. Try to find both hands behind you. Once again, if you're not fully warm up like I am, then you might want to use a strap. And I usually use a strap just to be able to hold both hands in case my hands cannot connect together behind me. So from cow face, whether it is seated, whether it is with the spine in a forward fold, that is a choice you can make in your classes. And then from seated, pretty straightforward, you can either come down to your hands and knees. From hands and knees, quick downward dog transition into standing forward fold, which is our fourth pose. And then from a standing forward fold pose, we could always go straight into pyramid by stepping one foot to the back space. Yeah. And then moving to pyramid. So those are our 5 poses. Pretty straightforward when it comes to a Hatha class. Now let's spend most of the time here for Vinyasa, since these poses don't necessarily may come together easily in a Vinyasa class. For Vinyasa, because we are connecting breath and movement, we're going to be doing these poses fast. Not fast, but we're not going to hold them for a minute each. I'm just going to check my time. We're not going to hold them for a minute each like we do in Hatha. So because my first one is reclining hand to big toe pose, which is lying down with the leg open to the side, I want to warm up my hamstrings. This is not a pose that is accessible to everyone at the beginning. So you can use straps if you like, or you can keep your knees bent like I did at the beginning of this class. Strap pretty straightforward. I mean, I'm sitting, but imagine that I am lying down. So if you're going to add poses like this in your Vinyasa class, it is best to first of all warm up for each pose. So we established already that reclining hand to big toe pose is, I would say, is a peak pose in a way. It requires a lot of opening through the hamstrings and through the hips. And two knee twist is more of a cool down pose. So I think we're safe to assume that that one, we don't need too much warming up. Cow face, we might need, again, some movement from the hips. This might not be accessible to everyone right away, whether it is doing both knees together or whether it is having one leg extended underneath you and the other one bent, and then you can switch. Standing forward fold, something that we can do also toward the beginning of a class. Knees can always stay bent as well in case the hamstrings are not fully stretched. And then pyramid pose. Again, I would say that a standing forward fold is a great warm up for pyramid pose. So if I were to look at these 5 poses, I would have to warm up mostly for reclining hand to big toe pose, which is my first pose of the series, and maybe cow face pose. Mostly the shoulders if you're choosing to do the shoulders. So let's put them together in a sequence that makes sense. So let's assume that I have warm up already for all these 5 poses. I'm not going to add them at the beginning of my class as they are. I'm going to warm up first. Obviously, for time reasons, I'm not going to do it right now, but we're going to assume that we have done already a few stretches to warm up for these poses. So once you are lying down, both knees bent, holding onto the big toe, extending the leg, maybe both legs or one leg. Let's begin with the opposite knee bend. As you open the leg out to the side, take a deep inhale here. And as you exhale, bring the leg back into the center. When it comes to vinyasa, and I'm ready to start adding breath to the poses, it's nice to repeat a pose several times. Notice that both knees are going away from each other here, just to counterbalance the hips. Exhale to bring everything back to the center. Let's do it one more time. Inhale to open up the leg out to the side. And as you exhale, bring the leg back into the center. Both knees bend to your chest. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, let's bring both knees to the left. Belly stays engaged. On the next inhalation, bring both knees back to the center. Let's do it two more times. Exhale to bring both knees to the left. This is a good side core awareness asana. And exhale to come back to the center. Inhale to bring both knees again to the side. And then exhale to come back to the center. Both legs extend. Take your arms to the back space. Inhale to look up, chest up. As you exhale, rolling up to your sitting position. Bend your left, bend your right as you stack both knees. Shoulders down. Bringing the right arm behind you, left hand behind you, whether you have the strap or not. If this is a vinyasa, then maybe not time for the strap. Shoulders down. Even if the fingertips don't come together, that's fine. Just imagine that the fingers are holding together. Take a deep inhale here. Maybe lift your chest up to the ceiling. And as you exhale, bring your upper body forward into your forward fold. On the next inhalation, coming back, release your hands. Bend both knees and shift your weight to your hands and knees. Tuck toes under and shift your way back into downward facing dog. From downward dog, look to your hands, walk the feet forward. Inhale halfway up, why not, just for fun. And exhale, forward fold. Step your right leg to the back space, moving into a pyramid pose. Again, inhale halfway, why not? And as you exhale, back down to your forward fold. On the next inhalation, look forward, step your right leg to the back space. And for fun, let's add a Malasana Squat. So heel to your feet together, bend your knees, and instead of staying here for too long, bring your hands back, sit down, extend both legs forward. Take your hands to the front and slowly begin to roll down through the spine one vertebra at a time. I'm going to do the other side in this direction toward the camera. Bend both knees and then slowly take your right leg up to the ceiling. Hold onto your big toe. Open both knees. Inhale to balance the hips. Exhale to come back to the center. And as you inhale, open. And as you exhale back to the center, let's do it one more time. Inhale to open. And as you exhale back to the center, both knees bend. This time, let's go to the right side as you bring both knees into two knee twists. You can open the arms, exhale, bring the knees back into the center. Exhale again, both knees to the right, and exhale back to center. Last one, bringing both knees to the right. Exhale back to the center. Extend both legs, reach your arms back, chest up, look up as you exhale. Come up into a sitting position. You can use your hands behind the thighs to help you. Slowly taking the right leg underneath you, left leg over. I think we did it on the first side actually. So we're going to take our left leg under, right leg over, and then bring the left elbow up, right hand behind you, whether fingertips come together or not, that's okay. Inhale to lengthen through the spine. Exhale, forward fold. Let's do this one more time. Inhale to lengthen. And exhale, forward fold. Inhale to come back up. Exhale, release. Slowly shift your legs back, hands and knees. Inhale. Exhale, shift back into downward facing dog. Look forward. Step your legs to the front as you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half. Exhale, forward fold. This time, step in your left leg to the back space for pyramid pose. Once again, inhale halfway. Exhale to your forward fold. Step your back leg to the front. Exhale. Heel to the feet away from each other as you come back down into your squat. So what I just did, I put the right and the left side together, and I added a few repetitions here and there within each pose. Because in my mind, after I've warmed up my body to be able to do these poses, then I'm going to start the vinyasa portion of the poses. So adding the breath to the movement. And I begin by playing with breath and movement within each pose. Now, my aim is to then go a little bit faster. So let's say that we just finished one cycle, sit back down, extend both legs forward, slowly begin to roll back down, one vertebra at a time. Exhale to bring both knees into the chest. Left leg comes down, hold onto the right toes. One sec here. Hold onto the right toes, extending both legs. Inhale to open the leg out to the side, keeping the opposite hip grounded. Exhale back to center, bend your knees. Inhale to open the arms and take both knees to the right. Exhale back to center. Taking both legs forward, take your arms back. Inhale, chest up, head up as you exhale, forward fold. Inhale, coming up as you shift your weight to your hands and knees. From hands and knees, and by hands and knees, I meant to stay seated because we're not going to go into our forward fold yet. So we just came out into our forward fold. Taking your left leg under, right leg over, both knees are stacked. Inhale to bring your right arm up. Exhale, find your fingers or just hold into your shirt. Inhale to reach your chest up as you exhale, forward fold. Inhale to roll back up. Exhale, release. Now shift your weight to your hands and knees. Tuck toes under. Downward facing dog as you exhale. Look to your hands and step your feet forward into forward fold. Inhale halfway up. And as you exhale, forward fold. Stepping your right leg to the back space. So notice that I've been doing the right leg this whole time. Inhale halfway up. Exhale back down to your forward fold. Stepping your back leg forward, forward fold, heel toe the feet. So even though Malasana is not part of our sequence, I'm adding Malasana as my transition between right side and the left side. I'm just going to check time. And then slowly find your sitting position. Extend both legs forward, reach your arms as you begin to roll back down. You can always remind the students that this is not Shavasana. We're just here to use breath and movement. Shavasana is going to come later. So taking your left leg up, hold into the big toe as you inhale to open the leg out to the side. As you exhale, bring it back to the center. Both knees come in, inhale. And as you exhale, taking both knees to the left. Inhale back to the center. As you take both legs to the front, reach your arms up. Chest up, head up, look forward as you forward fold. Slowly taking your right leg under, left leg over. Bringing the left arm up toward the ceiling. And once again, I made a mistake. I believe that we have the left leg under, right leg over. Left arm comes up to the ceiling. Right hand behind you. Find your shirt or your fingertips. Inhale to reach up. As you exhale, forward fold. Inhale to roll back up. Exhale, release. Take both hands and both knees into hands and knees. Tuck toes under. Shift your weight back into downward facing dog. Look forward to your hands as you step or hop to your forward fold. Inhale halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Left leg steps back. Inhale halfway. Exhale for pyramid pose. Slowly look to your hands and step your back leg forward again. Heel toe the feet away from each other as you bend your knees into Malasana. Now, what I like to do is to play with the sequence. So I'm going to keep the same sequence, And we might only have time for one side, but I'm going to add some extra poses in between so then you can start to expand your vinyasa. Take both hands down and extend both legs forward, bringing your hands to the front space as you begin to roll back down through the spine. Exhale both knees into your chest. Inhale to extend your left leg forward. Hold the big toe as you open the leg out to the side. Inhale here. Exhale to bring it back to the center. Both knees to chest. Exhale. Open the arms. Inhale as you bring both knees to the right. And as you exhale back to the center, extend both legs forward with your arms to the back space. Inhale, head up, chest up. Exhale, coming into a forward fold, and we're going to stay in this forward fold, just adding something here. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. And the next inhalation, rolling back up. Take your right leg under, left leg over. Right arm up, left arm down. Hold fingertips or try to as you bring your chest up. As you exhale, forward fold. On the inhale, coming back up. Exhale, release, and cross legs or shift your weight back however is available to you onto your hands and knees. Just for fun, moving into a cow pose, inhale, and as you exhale, cat. Inhale back to neutral, tuck toes under as you shift into downward facing dog. Inhale, taking the right leg up to the ceiling. Stack your hips as you open the hips. Look to your hands, bring your right knee into the chest, step your right leg forward, left leg forward for forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale. Right leg steps back into pyramid. Inhale, halfway. And as you exhale, back down. Inhale to shift your weight forward. Exhale to step your right leg forward. Heel toe the feet as you inhale. Lower pelvis to heels. Malasana Squat. Send your hands back, sit on the pelvis. Extend your legs forward as you reach your hands all the way back into your forward fold. Let's do the other side. Exhale, both knees to chest. Right leg straightens to the front. Hold onto the big toe as you exhale. Inhale to open up the left leg out to the side. Keep opposite hip grounded. Exhale to come back to the center. Inhale to release. Exhale, both knees to chest. Open the arms as you inhale, both legs to the left. Back to the center. Inhale as you extend your legs straight, arms back. On the next inhalation, head up, chest up. And as you exhale, rolling all the way forward into your forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Release as you bring your left leg under, right leg over. This time we got it right. Take the left arm to the back space, right hand behind you. Find fingertips or your shirt. Inhale to reach your chest up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to roll up. Exhale, release. I'm going to cross my ankles, but you can shift to your hands and knees however that is available. We add a cat-cow here. Inhale for cow. Exhale for cat. Tuck toes under, shift to downward dog. We added left leg up and opening the hips, stacking the left over the right. On the next exhalation, look forward, step your left leg to the front, right leg forward, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, back down. Left leg steps behind you for pyramid. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold here in pyramid pose. Inhale to shift the weight forward. Step your back foot again to the front. Heel toe, feet away from each other. Turn out, knees tracking the same direction as toes as you lower pelvis to heels, hands together for Malasana. And then you can continue through this sequence and you can continue to add poses as you are moving, let's say from downward dog, stepping forward. You can add warrior twos, you can add lunges, warrior ones, warrior threes. So your sequence of these 5 poses, it starts to spread and you start to fit other poses in. So that is a way that I like to create sequences, is by randomly choosing these 5 poses. We established that this was a pretty straight away sequence for Hatha, but for Vinyasa it was a little bit more challenging. But as long as you have those key transitions, so in this case, because I had 2 lying down poses, 1 seated and 2 standing poses, my transitions became roll downs, and roll ups, and Malasana to seated. Those are kind of like the things that I added to be able to transition from lying down to seated to standing. So I hope that this live was useful to you. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you.